I'm Jimmy Mack. I am the owner of Smart Model LLC. We provide tie-dye workshops for communities. We also provide our healing circles titled Chakra Sister Circles, and we just provide a safe space. We also provide yoga classes. That is a new service now, but it's just another healing space to bring everyone together. But that is what we are prominently known for in Nashville. So we serve everyone. We primarily focus on youth ages 4 and up. Sometimes we get more, but we focus on youth and adults. We provide creative experiences, whether that be our tie-dye workshops, whether we're selling our tie-dye merchandise, or having our Chakra Sister circles. We provide healing experiences through creativity, through a cultural experience. Lots of people aren't aware that tie-dyeing is a cultural experience. It resonates so much with our ancestry. Just think about all of these patterns and all of, these different colors, vibrant colors. They all come from the earth. So what I do is I educate from those cultural experiences while creating our own. So that is just a little extent of what I provide. So tie-dye derives from Nigerian culture, Egyptians, Indian cultures. There are many different plants, many different natural herbs you can utilize to create color. So you have like sakta root, that is more so created for like an orange. You could even utilize beets, that is more so like a fuchsia kind of color. You can also utilize your greens, more so like your spinach. Like lots of people don't know, if you just soak your spinach, that creates green. Also, the indigo dye, that's more so prominently known in African countries, but comes from a tree, and that creates a deep blue. So there's many different ways you can get color. I would say these tribes basically utilize these natural elements to create style for themselves, to create style in their communities. And I started tie-dyeing just simply because I guess I needed a different hobby, or just another creative outlet, and it really just stumbled upon me during the pandemic. And before I knew it, I was just researching, and I was prominently interested in knowing where it came from in African culture, because tie-dyeing is more so known, as something that is outside of our culture. It's more so known, you see it more so like in the festival culture, like your Bonnaroo or your Coachellas. But I was more so interested in, like, I know I've seen tie-dyeing in Black communities. Where does it originate from? So that's where, like, I just kind of got geeked up and got into my research mode of, where does this come from? And I discovered so much, as far as like dyeing huts. Like there are just dyeing facilities in Nigeria where you can go and you can learn, textile printing. You can learn how to dye. You can learn how to make dyes as well. So I just started diving a little bit more, and also it inspires me for the future of my business, and shifting to a more organic creation, because sometimes we'll play around with the fruits, we'll play around with those natural elements, but want to make them more so an experience, and include it. I would say my patience is one, because I think right now we live in a world where instant gratification is a thing, and a lot of us do not want to wait on things. And I am one of those people sometimes, and that's okay. But in my journey of being a business owner, I've learned that there are so many first times. There are so many things you have to keep track of. Me, I'm a creative, so I'm a creative. I love to read, but when it comes to like the business side of things, sometimes that can be a little challenging. And also, it can be a test of patience, because it's just welcoming the unknown very frequently in business. Like, just when you think you're done, there's something new to learn. And that's beautiful. But sometimes it can also be a challenge, because it is new. So I would say, yeah, just it's just a series of first times in business, and I'm just taking it in stride. So that's the main challenge that I've had to endure. Yes. I recently just came back from a break, and now I'm more so in the space of posting more content. We're about to go into summer, so basically that is like the busy season for us. So I did need to take a moment of rest. I did need to take a moment of recharging, because it can, like I said, it can get a little overwhelming with all these first times. And yeah, sometimes personal situations can arise, and it's more so about just taking a step back and getting yourself back together. Also, there's just a series of transitions with self, and doing. I mean, there's just transitions with self, period. So, in those transitions, it's a time to take space for yourself. It's a time to regroup, rethink some goals. But when I was in a space of just, I would say, isolation, I was definitely figuring out ways to grow, ways to just maintain my positivity, and also doing things that, hold up 1 second, take a moment, but going into new spaces, is really important as well, because that's how you grow as a person. And also, I'm a creative girly, so I really like to place myself in art spaces, whether that be going to like the Frisk Museum. It was a beautiful exhibit. I think it was last month. There was just like a series of Black artists, and I just went to gain some inspiration, and it made me so proud, because I'm like, oh my goodness, look at these artists working with different fabrics and different, dyes or paints. But just placing yourself in different spaces during those times are very important, and I think they aid to your growth. So, major lesson is take your time, not anybody else's, not your networks, not your community. Take your time, because no one knows what you need but you. People can suggest, people can provide a resource, sometimes, you can have some outlets, but it's more so about taking your time, and also just realizing what you can endure. Like I said, in this business or in entrepreneur work, there's just a series of first time, especially if you've never learned or been taught about entrepreneurship. Like, I haven't. Both of my parents, they were in the working class field, so entrepreneurship was kind of foreign to me. And I would say when I was a teenager, I was like looking around. I had a mentor, and she was like the first woman I seen like in entrepreneurship, and she was like a boss. Shout out to Miss Linda Porter. But yeah, she was my mentor. She was the first Black woman I seen to like manage a building, be like welcoming of the youth in the community, not like push us out like if we were fighting or if we, it was just many things we could have gotten into, but that library that she was managing, it kept us on track. And also she was like a author. She was an author. She wrote like 3 books. I'm kind of getting off topic here. I'm a good at telling a story within a story, but basically, she was like, you know, basically a teacher of entrepreneurship to me unknowingly. And when I got older, you know, I didn't realize actresses or I would say boutique owners, things like that. I didn't realize like these people in our communities are entrepreneurs. Like entrepreneurship was foreign to me until I would say my mid-teens, like 13 and up. That's when I really learned about entrepreneurship. So yeah, take in that lesson of like experiencing Miss Porter, she always took her time. She always, you know, she adjusted her schedule when needed. It was just a very valuable lesson for me in taking my time. And as I get into the spirit of entrepreneurship more, I always reflect back to that, because yeah, that was like a, well, aside from my mother and her, you know, her love, her care, her hard workwomanship. Aside from that, she was a prominent figure in entrepreneurship for me. But taking your time is very important. I'm just a jokey lady. See this? I'm just a little jokey lady sometimes. I really love a good time. I really love to laugh. And yeah, I'm one of those people that I can crack myself up before anyone else. So yeah, it's not too much. I'm just a fun person all around. Anything I do, I try to make it fun. So major objectives. Well, my major objectives this year is to solidify my team. I have already recruited 2 beautiful young women to join me, and I always, so I have like my tie-dye team, and that consists of Wisdom, shout out to Wisdom, Tay, and my aunt, and so yeah, I have like my tie-dye team, but more so my business team when it comes to events, all of that jazz, solidifying that this year. Now we're at the space of like actually knowing the flow of our year, because we've been doing this for we're going in 3 years now. So we've been doing this for some time. So now I'm in a space of actually knowing my schedule, but sticking to the schedule, sticking to my goals, but also giving myself some grace when I need some time to just be. But yes, solidifying a team, staying consistent with our goals, getting more partnerships. We have a partnership with Walk Back Nashville and with Recycle Reinvest, so we're pretty active with those 2 prominent organizations in the city. And Corner to Corner, shout out to Corner to Corner, and Ether, shout out. So we are pretty connected, but I definitely want to grow our network a lot more. Like I said, placing myself in new spaces, that's another thing as well. So, and just, yeah, creating more familial moments in the community. I truly adore seeing the families that come to our tent, that come to create, that, you know, leave with their bag of a scarf or some socks, whatever they decide to dye that day. It's truly a joy to see the families create like a core memory with my in my business or visiting my business. So yeah, those are some main objectives this year. Wow, that's so crazy because I posted my baby picture, one of my baby pictures yesterday online, and I was just looking at that little girl, and I was like, wow, she would really love me. You know, she would really love the woman I am. She would come to me for advice. She would come to me for safety, and that makes me feel good um, as an adult. But to young ladies who are stepping into entrepreneurship, who have a passion for a thing that they want to do, and even if that thing is different, even if no one is doing it, that's okay. There is a lane for it, there's an audience for it, and there's a community for it. I would say take your time again, like take your time with yourself. Get involved in your community, and utilize those resources. I had some great resources along my entrepreneurship journey, like Ether Nashville, like Corner to Corner. I graduated from both of those programs, and learned a lot more about entrepreneurship. And it was the base that prepared me for the space that I'm in now. But I would say, yeah, believe in yourself, just keep creating, and don't complain too much. Like, there are things that will happen day in, day out. My daddy, he always tells me, baby, you gonna deal with attitudes every day. Every day, every single day of your life, you are going to deal with an attitude. There is going to be some infliction that may interrupt your day daily. But just try to stay positive. Try to limit complaining. Stay in tune with your goals. Read a book. That is like a very big thing. I would suggest to young women. Like I said, we live in a world of instant gratification or social media, and it's easy to stroll and kind of get lost in the digital world. But picking up a book, whether it obtains to your craft or whether it's just a story you'd like to endure, read a book, write down your goals, write down your thoughts, and know that everything is gonna be okay. It's just a journey. This is a journey of life. There's going to be a series of transitions and a series of yous, and just welcome them, no matter how she may feel at the time. Just welcome it and know that it is for now, and the growth never stops.